Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a different outlook, a different type of topic and conversation that we're going to have. It's the conversation of demand and attention. You see, there's a lot of people who will demand and seek your attention. They think they deserve it. They think that it is theirs for the taking. And honestly, if they are not working as hard as you are for the goals that you're working for the pursuit that you're pursuing, start to starve out their demands, start to starve out their attention seeking. And some people will try and force it on you in very, very different ways. They'll try and give you what they believe you to want. They'll try to force it from you in any means necessary, where it's violence, whether it's the legal system, however they can. If they believe they have a claim to you, your energy, your life, and your space. You see, I can go into a lot of various topics. Typically, I go into my own life and what's going on within that. But I just want you to understand that this world is revolving around supply and demand. There's very few things in this world that are going to not require supply or demand. That's you can talk about. I was watching I believe Cheyenne, who is a doctor in therapy, on the Shannon Sharp podcast, talking about relationships and business, and Shannon Sharp saying that he preferred business because it will never betray him or abandon him, how his father did, and how he kind of abandoned certain family because he was essentially trying not to be his father and became him. Those stories are very, very similar to many stories these days. They say if you despise something, just be careful, because you'll become the person that you despise the most. You know, that tends to be the case for many people. I tend to err on the side of caution and say, you know, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. You see, these quotes are very powerful because it truly does make sense, and it truly does impact your lives in different ways. You see, married people tend to want to be married. Those who had their mom and dad married will tend to want to be married. And so you understand, but if you don't start a cycle of negativity, if you don't start a cycle of, separation, then there won't be much of that of hatred, despise, and things of that nature. You may decide, you know what, when somebody says no, you'll say yes and you'll work through it. But no, when two people say no, then there is no yes. Or when one person says no and keeps it a no, there is no yes. And so I say all that to say, you have to be the change that you want to be, not rely on others in order to make that change for you. Some people will rely on others to make changes for them, and then therefore they'll be at the whim of those said people. But I also believe that relationships are transactional. They don't come without a cost. They don't come without a cost. If you fail to do, you'll eventually be, again, if you fail to do, you will eventually be out. You'll eventually be cut off and out. And you'll see that those who know that they have to overcompensate for you will do so in order to get in your good graces. Whereas those who know their own worth, their own value, know what they can get, know what they demand within the marketplace, will not try as hard, will not do as much, because they understand where they are in the totem pole of things. And so the people who are going to be chasing after me are typically not the people that I want. Why is that? is because I understand where I am in the marketplace. I understand my value. And those who are chasing me are typically not of the same ilk, not of the same cloth, not where I would want to be. Not that they're any less of a person, but they're not my spec, not where I would, rest my head at night, whether it's relationship wise, whether it's business wise. And so we see people say, or women say all the time, you know what, I don't got a man. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm bored. What is there to do? Meanwhile, inbox is flooded. Had somebody tell me today, my messages, I got over 502 messages. Why is that? And yet there's only 2 people that even get to the top of my mind. 502 messages, and yet only 2 people may get to the top of my mind in an entire day. Why is that? Well, it's very clear that, there's a supply that I don't need to tap into because I believe I am somewhere else within my life. There's an attention that I don't need to seek. There's a group that I can simply erode and get rid of. I don't play with people's emotions. I'll tell them, listen, I'm okay, I'm good. Had somebody ask me the other day, hey, did you engage in anything while you were overseas, while you were on vacation? I said, it took me a day to respond. Not because I was so busy that I couldn't, although it felt that way. I was busy. I was doing other things. I was creating YouTube channels. I was late for work. I had to rush to get to work. I had a lot of stuff that I was doing, a lot of stuff that I was handling. But if there was somebody of importance to me, I would have been able to respond a lot quicker. Instead, I said, I don't feel the need to explain myself. Because someone might say, if someone is asking you what you're engaging in, you've opened the door for them to feel as though they're entitled to that. I would say, what did I do in order to convince this person that they're entitled to what I do and how I engage and how I behave? You understand? And so I say all that to say, sometimes when people give you a little, they demand so much more in return. And what may be little to you might be a big or huge commitment to them. And so communication, dialogue is absolutely important, but then also understand that those who think that they are tied to you, those who think that they are within your realm of existence, that they control a piece of you or own you as a whole, you have to be aware of those trying to create dominion over you. Again, whether it's via violence, whether it's through the legal system, whether it's through relationships, whether it's through business. And then start to maneuver in a way where you only engage in what you want to engage in. This is very important. Do not allow those just seeking attention to garner all of your attention. I feel like those who continue to dive into the pettiness of the world will be consumed by it. Absolutely. Will be absolutely consumed by it because they do nothing else but dive into that same destruction over and over and over again. A jealous baby mama, let me engage. A jealous girlfriend, let me engage. Horrible coworkers, let me engage. Horrible enemies, let me engage. Nosy neighbors, let me engage. Whatever the case may be, they want to engage. As for me, I go into my little bubble. I disengage. I allow them to do whatever it is they want to do. I had people talking, wanting me to join in the conversation. What would Festus do? What would Festus say? If you didn't realize, I didn't even want to say my name, although it's on the channel, right? And I said, you know what? They didn't ask me directly, so let me not open my mouth to speak. It was in regards to finance. They know I know finance. You can ask me a question, I'll answer it. But you didn't ask me. Instead, you talked in the third person about me directly in my presence. And so I said, you know what? Since I wasn't asked, I will not answer. This is why I created my channel, is because those who want the information will come to the channel to seek it. And those who don't will talk in the third person. You understand? And so I say all that to say I'm always available and always wanting to help, because we have big hearts. We want to give. Those are the type of people that I like to work with and like to engage with. But if you're not being asked to give, then keep your opinions to yourself. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.